I'm sure you can all agree with me on this. We've all watched Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer as a kid, the Rankin Bass one, and the movie from 1998. There's a big difference between the two movies. The Rankin Bass one had the Island of Misfit Toys, the Miner, the Yeti, and Herbie the Elf. And the movie had a few changes. Like, there's a villain named Stormella, and a few new characters were also added. But they were just Rudolph's friends, just to point out a few. There was Slyly the Fox, Leonard the Polar Bear, Boone and Doggle, even the Sprites of the Northern Lights. The characters in both movies have different names, different plots, as well as different settings and stuff. I liked Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer the movie as a child. I watched it on VHS in the early 2000s, and God, I feel old. There was a lot of good feedback that the movie received, and it was shortly after the movie was released to the public. A lot of films wanted a sequel to it, but too bad Good Times Entertainment Studios shut down back in 2005 due to bankruptcy. Here's something about the movie that I'm not really sure, but this is just what I have had in mind. The Sprites of the Northern Lights were one of my favorite characters in the movie. I know they're underrated, but I do find them cool. For those who don't know who the Sprites of the Northern Lights are, let me explain. The Sprites of the Northern Lights are 4 sprites that fly around the North Pole. You don't see them as much as you see Rudolph in the movie. Now, when you see the sprites, you are probably thinking they're fairies. Wrong. You may think they are fairies as a child, but after I tell you what we're going to be, you'd be confused. Most kids and adults have thought the sprites to be 4 fairies. Others may think otherwise. The sprites may mainly watch Rudolph and keep an eye on him, and that's what they did throughout the movie. But not much on them was told. No backstory or anything like that, and they even sound friendly and nice. That's what most people think. But others may think of them as something more sinister. The sprites were usually going to be fairies or something else much more, but Good Times Entertainment decided to keep them as sprites and make them more like fairies. My theory is it may destroy your childhood for the movie, so you've been warned if you stuck around. The sprites had something inside that no one knows, and they have real forms of themselves as something more sinister. The sprites were going to have forms of certain creatures, but the studio scrapped the idea. I don't really know if this was true, but I decided to make this up. The Sprites of the Northern Lights may look like fairies to you, as they'd look more like fairy-like in the movie. But I find them to have a secret inside, a dark one that. Let's start off with Aurora, the red sprite. She's more of a leader type build. In fact, she is the leader. But I do find her to be a monster on the dark side of her, and that is, she is a devil. A devil inside of a nice sprite's body. But why is she a devil? Because she believes demons are real, and they've taken over her mind, saying, possessing things. Why is that? Well, it's mainly because most devils are red, and take a look at some movies with demons and devils, and you'll see what I mean. Aurora would turn into a devil when she gets angry or rage even, so you may not want to piss her off. When she does get angry, she turns into a devil and loses her insanity. How did this happen? Nightmares she had of demons as a child, and she could never get over the fear of demons, so she never forget that she be a demon inside. No one but Sparkle, Twinkle, and Glitter knew her secret. No one else knows about it, not even Rudolph himself, as in fact fears she would frighten others around her. Aurora at night would do a demon ritual. She mainly does after flying around North Pole all day and night, and she thinks that demons are real, and even when supporting Satan is good. Aurora would turn into a demon, and whoever makes her angry, she kills the one who pisses her off. Then there's Sparkle, the light blue fairy. She's another of the sprites. In the movie, she does the same thing Aurora does, watching over Rudolph, etc. There's something about most people may not get. Sparkle was cursed by Stormella. Now you maybe think I'm crazy, but believe in whatever you want. Sparkle was cursed by Stormella when she was captured, and her friends have witnessed it all. Sparkle was changed into a blue wolf, but not just any wolf, a werewolf. Any night of day when she sees the full moon rises, Sparkle will change into a werewolf, terrifying anyone around her. But her friends, which most of the rest of the sprites, are not scared of her. Sparkle as a werewolf form will scare anyone that crosses her path. But she does have a vicious temper at times, so you might want to stay indoors at night on the full moon, or she'll kill you on sight and even eat you. If you do go out at night, just watch your back. There is a chance that Sparkle is watching you, even if you're walking somewhere at night, so watch out for her, to those that work in night shifts. Then there's Glitter the purple sprite. What is so harmless about her? Well, you're wrong, my friend. Glitter was frozen underwater by Stormella one day, and she was changed into a crocodile that can survive in the cold. Now, since crocodiles are reptiles, they can't survive in the cold. That's because crocodiles live in the warm, dry places of Africa, and etc. But why was she chosen to be a crocodile? Well, here's my theory. She was changed into a crocodile because of the way she shows her evil grin. In the movie, she may think she smiles for happiness. Guess again. She then had a trick up her sleeves, and no one needs to know about it. As a crocodile, Glitter would hunt down in the water or on land, and when she hunts in the water, it's a sight to see. She waits for her prey to come, and mainly for those who come to have a drink at night. But if she's on land, the speed of a crocodile is like a roadrunner. She would chase the prey until she catches it. It's worth the shot. Glitter did have a flashback on something. Her mother was eaten by a crocodile in Africa. How did Stormella know about her past? Easy as pie, but it's also not very explaining worth, as there was no mentions about their moms. She even could read people's minds. But that's for a different story. Stormella just knows everything. When Glitter attacks her prey, there is no letting go of the prey until it's dead, like any other crocodile would. But there's something that you may not like about the whole sense. How come she could survive in the cold as a crocodile? Magic. Stormella's curse that granted her the magic to survive in the cold as a reptile. But how is that possible? Logic was just made it to be possible. Is it disturbing for you enough? Well, if you're willing to proceed more into the fury of the sprites, let's continue. Twinkle is the yellow sprite, and she's not a demon, or a werewolf, or a reptile. If she isn't any of those things, what is she? Well, she's a dragon inside of a sprite's body. The kind of dragon she is a Chinese dragon, a yellow dragon with a golden spiky spine on its back, but she does have a fiery breath. A lot of people do like dragons, and even ones at festivals and parties. So what would be scared of a dragon? That people dislike dragons are most likely scared of them. Twinkle as a dragon would climb up on houses whenever she does some snooping. Why is that? Well, a dragon's gonna hunt for food. Same with crocodiles, demons, and werewolves. But a dragon is more dangerous to handle, mainly because they're a lot bigger than the others I mentioned. But a Chinese dragon is a lot more thinner, not just bigger. So now do you believe me? Well, so, you may know that these sprites are monsters. Although you don't see them outside, they're truly monsters on the inside. Good times entertainment for the fact they would never do something like that to the sweet innocent sprites. So what would happen if their forms were shown in the movie? Well, the movie would be at least PG or PG-13 at least. Plus, it would have to be in an anime style, as anime does tend to do that stuff a lot with their shows and movies. Next time you see the sprites in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer the movie, think about the fairies I explained. Maybe you might still think they're fairies, while others may think otherwise. I'm not the one to judge here, but that's just how I see things. We all see things differently in our lives, so I decided to share my thoughts on the sprites. I used to believe the sprites were fairies, but I have a theory that will not always what they seem to be. That's why I had those theories about them being monsters. So what's the thought of it? So yeah, here's a question that most of you may be asking. Whose idea was it to have those monster forms? Well, that's a mystery, still waiting to this day to be unfold.